there was a question on Twitter, actually. And the question was, what is the biggest contributor to educator burnout right now? I can't remember which account posted the question, but I believe it was a teacher who, facilitates conversations pretty regularly on Twitter. And your reply really resonated with me. Your reply was that the leading or biggest contributor was a lack of empathy and simple respect for the holistic health of individuals. Can you tell me more about that answer? What's behind it, and what has your experience been with this?
Sure. And one of the things that stood out about that question to me was something very simple as understanding if you want people to perform well, you have to invest in people. We're in the profession of education, but it's a product here that's a person.
Yes.
And we have to
Yes.
invest in people before people can yield a product for you. Now, whether or
Right.
not you want to be a good human being or not is a bonus, but even in business, you would say, how can I maximize product? And we understand that the nature of human beings are it's hard for me to focus on something when I have so much other burden on me. And so my job as an instruction leader would simply say, hey, I hear you. And I'm not just hearing you, I'm listening to you. What do you need from me in order to make sure that you can perform at a high level, not just as an educator, but as a human being? The pandemic has been a hard time for all of us. I think anyone who's in education can say that it has changed the landscape of education, and we'll probably never return to what was formerly our position. So for anyone who works with me, because I say nobody works for me, everybody in my school district works with me because I
Yes.
think we have a partnership in making sure that we get to where we're going. What can I do from my seat in order to help you as a person? I know the struggles mentally, I know the struggles physically, I know the struggles instructionally. We can't hide them. There are elephants in the room that are just talking loud and clear. What do you need from me? And then I just sit back and I listen, and if I can make it happen, I'm going to be honest with you. And if I can't, I'm going to be honest as well. But at least you know that there's never a day that goes by that you are not one of my main priorities.
Have you noticed that teachers are more burnt out this year than in previous years, or do you think this has been gradually building over the last several years?
No, I'm going to tell you honestly, I think this burnout is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I've
Okay.
been in education now for 12 years. And when I tell you this is something different, I come from a line of educators. My parents were educators. And so, as an educator, some things we learn how to deal with stress. You've been at every position on this
Mm-hmm.
spectrum as well. And we learn how to deal with stress, and we don't even realize sometimes that we're stressing.
Right.
So when you notice people breaking down in our field, you have to say to yourself, okay, this is not normal because we handle stress probably better than 99% of the people on the planet.
Mm.
And when you see it, people saying, Mr. Garth, Superintendent, I need to go home, or I can't come today, or I'm really struggling to maintain my focus because I got so much other stuff in life going on. It hit us so fast and so quickly. And just to be honest, when you're in a rural district in Mississippi and you may not have all of the resources that some other places may have had, the ability to change on the fly, and my staff did a phenomenal job of jumping in and saying, we're going to make this work. We don't care. Our kids deserve it. But it took an extra level of energy to go to that next level in spite of. And once we got there, the turnaround was so fast for the new year. And you were like, I haven't had a chance to breathe from March of
Mm.
2020 to now. And so the stress levels, the burnout is at an all time high. Yeah.
That first week of school it was like a almost like a tidal wave had hit, and I don't know that anybody really was expecting it. I think in hindsight we could all, like, I guess, predict it, or it makes sense, but it seemed to hit people by surprise. That it all of a sudden felt so hard. Did you notice that at all, or
No, absolutely. Listen, when I tell you, I'm very reflective in my practice. One of the
mhm.
things my mentor taught me how to do was be very reflective. And so I would notice little things that would really mean something to me. And one of the things I noticed in conversations, people would say, Superintendent, I don't know how long I can do this.
Mm,
Whenever an individual has to question the why on a regular basis, something
yeah.
else is going on that's different. So that was one of the key things. The other thing that I really noticed, and I laugh about it now, but I noticed it, I said, usually at a school, and if you've been at a high school, you notice a high school never closes. A high
Right.
school runs 24/7. It doesn't even need doors because it's just going to be open to some function over and over.
Yeah.
And when you start to notice that even high schools at 3:30, the parking lot is empty,
Yes. Yes.
you know. And I was saying, wow, this is not normal. This is because people are so burnt out. I'm trying to go home just to get enough to come back and do it tomorrow. And I said, okay, we really have to start thinking hard about what we can do to really, really revitalize people who just don't have the energy.